But first, they're going to watch the World Series on Fox.
Try to be amused, but since no one's a guy trusted, you know the angels wanna wear my red shoes, but when they told me back the side of the bargain, that's when I knew that I could not refuse, and I won't get any older now. The angels wanna wear my red shoes. Oh, I was watching while you're dancing away. I love cat fraction in the echo and sway. How come everybody wants to be your friend? You know that it still hurts me just to say it. Red shoes, the angels wanna wear my red shoes. Red shoes, the angels wanna wear my red shoes. Red shoes, the angels wanna wear my red shoes. Red shoes, the angels wanna wear my red shoes. Red shoes, the angels wanna wear my red shoes. Red shoes, the angels wanna wear my red shoes. Red shoes, the angels.
Tonight on Fox, the reigning comeback kids now face the biggest obstacle of their baseball lives. Since opening day, their mantra has been one game at a time. No showdown is more important than the next. This would be the exception. Now that the fabulous Baker boys have taken one giant step towards a world championship. Hi everyone, welcome to Game 6 of the World Series. Jeannie Zalasko along with Kevin Kennedy. It is do or die for the Angels. They are the game's ultimate survivors, but they need more than a rally monkey. Let's face it, they need a human being that can throw strikes.
Well, it better be Kevin Apier because he's got the nod tonight. He's got to go deeper into the ballgame than he has in the postseason. He's only averaged 4+ innings per start in the postseason. That's not going to get it done. Mike Socha ideally would like to get at least 5, turn the ball over to Frankie Rodriguez, and, of course, Percival to finish it up. That's the ideal game plan.
And now, though, with Jeff Kent making contact, this Giants lineup is much more dangerous.
Hey, you're talking about an MVP candidate and was the MVP 2 years ago. This guy's a 300 hitter. He got hot in Game 5. He was actually the hero in Game 5. There's no question about that. Kevin Apier off Jeff Kent. Well, we got shots of Apier right there. Apier has got to get hot. Russ Ortiz, taking a look at Russ Ortiz and Apier right now. That's the matchup tonight. Russ Ortiz, these guys are throwing fastballs, cutters, and power pitches. Genie, what these guys have to do is change speeds. Now let's go back to the hitters. Let's take a look at the 1, 2, 3 hitters in the lineup in the first few ball games, only averaging about 180. But in games 4 and 5, the Giants 1, 2, 3 hitters at 500 batting average, 11 runs scored. Obviously, you got to put some zeros up there. Keep those guys off there before Barry Bonds comes up.
Not mentioned in that rip, JT Snow earning his first career save in Game 5. All right, he didn't pitch, but he did catch a toddler bat boy by the name of Darren Baker, and you better believe Daddy has gotten an earful.
Deep right field, Salmon back at the wall. It's off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Longton digs for third. He's held there, and it's a 6-run Giants lead.
I felt bad because my mother, had warned me about this. And I told her, I said, oh, Mom, we got it under control. I'm watching him. The kids are watching him. But he was in such a hurry to get Kenny Lofton's bat. He flew out there.
Thank goodness that JT Snow was aware and got Darren Baker out of the way.
I have a 4.5-year-old son of my own at home, so I kind of know how to get a hold of it when they're running away. He's our good luck charm right now. I mean, when he's in the dugout, we do pretty well. So we can't have him go down. We need him as much as we need any of our players.
As soon as I got in the clubhouse, first call I got was from one of those I told you so calls from my mom. And I really didn't want to answer the phone, but I knew it was her. I said, I better take my medicine now. And she said, oh, son, you listen to me sometime, but just be careful with him. I said, okay, Mom, and that's about it.
The kids are all right. The kids are all right. The kids are all right. The kids are all right.
Well, that was not the only phone call that Dusty Baker received. He did hear from the league office, and they asked him to be very careful out there. Now, ironically, before Game 5, we talked about the Giants
think it's a little young, obviously. I think there's going to be some major league rules that will change this. It's great to be family-oriented, want to have your sons out there, these sons of great major league ball players, but the key issue is not so much focus, because obviously it hasn't affected Dusty Baker and the Giants on how he runs the ball game, but the issue is safety. It could have been a catastrophe the other night for young Darren Baker.
Thank goodness it wasn't. Hanging with Dad, though, seems to be a rite of passage for those born into the game. Scott Spezio's father, a large part of the reason he is a big leaguer today, but I'm thinking the former Cardinal, Ed Spezio, probably never expected this.
I think the thing about music is once you get into it, you can't get out of it. It's too much fun. And who knows how big it'll get. If it just is me in the basement recording my own songs by myself, that'll be great for me. I play a lot of instruments, but none of them well. I like playing the guitar the best with a lot of distortion, just cranking it up as loud as you can go and tearing the house down. We started a band in '97, and we didn't have instruments yet. But the name of the band is the first letters of each of our last names. Spezio, Anderson, Froylan, Gary. I've got 600-700 CDs at home, and some of them, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Barbra Streisand. I shouldn't have admitted that on TV. I think the great thing about music is it can take you to wherever you want it to take you. I have fun with it, I love it, and but baseball is my first love. Game 7, 2 outs, bases loaded, down 1 run. It's what it's all about. It's what I've worked my whole life for, and I'd love to have that ring. There's 2 things I've always wanted to do. 1 is win the World Series. 2 is do this. One down, 1 to go.
I don't think Scott Spezio's going to like Tony Bennett anymore, because I think the Angels left their hearts in San Francisco. That's more like Pete Townsend, and like the Angels after the last couple of ball games, I don't think they're going to get fooled again.
All right, keeping with the theme, son of ball player, none is more dangerous than Barry Bonds. You got what you wanted in Game 5. Mike Scioscia pitched to him, no home runs, but it was still painful. Scioscia knows to get the ring, he has to get by one of the greatest players of all time.
Barry Bonds is an extraordinary talent, and I think that the fact that we've talked about things, the fact that we've done things that maybe weren't considered, in the baseball by the book, shows how talented Barry is.
It is amazing. You do marvel at what other teams, how afraid they are of Barry.
A lot of it's his fault, because they pitched him tough before, but this really started when he hit 73 home runs. When he hit 73 home runs, then they just started doing stuff that I'd never even seen before. Walking to get the base loaded. One day, he walked in a run, versus not to pitch to him. And I think that was one of the first ones I've seen.
Like Babe Ruth in his era, nobody in this era has done what Barry Bonds has done in the postseason. The batting average, particularly the slugging, almost 1,000. On-base percentage close to 600. 7 home runs, tied with Troy Glaus in the postseason. The walks really impressed me. I mean, you change the dynamics of a ball game by the way you manage against Barry Bonds. You put him on early in the ball game. You create more at-bats for him later in the ball game. I think Mike Scioscia might have to change the game plan just a little bit. Maybe go after him, even with men on base. See if you can get him out. See if he'll roll over a ball once in a while. He still is a 370 hitter. You still got almost a 63% chance of getting him out. But you keep walking him 2 or 3 times a ball game, what happens? You turn the lineup over, and all of a sudden those good hitters are coming up in the 8th and 9th inning with the game on the line, and that's what you don't want.
Interestingly enough, if there was a knock on Barry Bonds, it was that he couldn't get anything done in the postseason. Now he's on the brink of a championship. Does he really need this ring to change people's mind or to change his status in your mind?
Yeah, I think really Kevin Napier, has to throw a good ball game today. There's no question about that. Barry Bonds is a guy that can hit anybody's pitches, anybody's fastball, but Kevin Napier has to be confident, not let the Giants get out early, and he has to put some zeros up there early, Jeannie. You got to make some splits against Barry Bonds, do some things to diffuse him a little bit. And what they're doing by putting him on early in the ball game, the first 3 innings, I think they're showing, hey, we don't think we can get you out.
Yeah, incredible history we're watching. Of course, Bond's only part of the problem. The Angels have yet to put out a great start against the Giants.
Well, I mean, that's what I say. I mean, we've got to have some zeros put up there early. The pitching has been awful in the postseason as far as starters are concerned. World Series Game 2, Avery only went 2 innings. And why? We showed this early, and we want to re-emphasize this because it's important. Fastballs up in the zone and hitters count. You cannot do that. Kevin Avery does not throw 93, 94 anymore. He throws splits. That's his out pitch. He's got to go to it. Russ Ortiz is a power guy as well. He didn't change speeds against the Angels. Russ Ortiz is more in the mold on this staff of a Jason Schmidt. Jason throws a little bit harder, but Russ has a 94 fastball, 95 fastball, but he didn't throw any off-speed pitches. Both guys have to throw off-speed to have success against two great fastball hitting teams. Jason Schmidt, Jeannie, this guy throws 97, 98, but the reason he had success in his last start against the Angels, the changeup. We got a power guy throwing 97, throwing an 85 changeup with a great arm speed, the same arm speed as a fastball. That's what gets you out front in hitters' counts, and that's exactly why Jason Schmidt threw better the other night. When he got in trouble in the 5th inning the other night, all fastballs. So therefore, what they have to do, change speeds. These starters have to change speeds early in the ball game to get deeper into the ball game. We're looking at this graphic, Jeannie, it's awful.
The Giants pitchers admitting after Game 3, they said they have to make some adjustments, and the pitching was not expected to dominate, but no one anticipated this. I mean, no starter has gone past the 6th.
Oh, well, we talked about it the other night. We said there's no dominant starters on either one of these staffs. There's no Roger Clemens. There's no Randy Johnson. There's no Greg Maddux. There's nobody like that. There's no Schilling. Therefore, these guys just have to mix and match to get deeper into the bullpen today, or deeper into the ballgame today.
Real quickly, Mike Scioscia, Mr. Calm and Cool. What will we see tonight?
I think Mike will have to manage effort. It's a sense of urgency now because there's no tomorrow for them. Therefore, early in the ballgame, maybe you're gets in trouble. You might see Schoenweiss in there.
Still ahead, we see red people, lots of them, and the Angels will take all the help they can get. No monkey business here tonight as the magical moments continue to unfold on Fox.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird's a winner, well, a bird, bird, bird. Bird is a winner, well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a winner, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a winner, well, don't you know about the bird? Well, everybody knows that the bird is a winner, well, a bird, bird. The bird is a winner, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird.
Anaheim, California, before the start of game number 6, and right now for the introduction of tonight's national anthem, let's join public address announcer David Courtney.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this time, would you all please rise and kindly remove your caps? Following our national anthem, we direct your eyes to the skies above center field, where you'll see a special flyover by the United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America and the men and women in service to our country, please join with Motown recording artist Brian McKnight in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian McKnight.
Barry Bonds and the San Francisco Giants are here in Anaheim as we prepare for game number 6 of this 2002 World Series. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver in just a moment. Well, here are the Giants, one win away from their first world championship since 1954, since before the move out west. Meanwhile, for Anaheim, in their first World Series, they're just trying to get this thing to tomorrow night in Game 7. And because of that, Tim McCarver, you look at the starter, Kevin Appier. He was ineffective in Game 2, part of a long list of starters who have been ineffective, and he will have a short leash tonight.
I don't think there's any question about it. You may remember that saying, complete game. It's been obsolete in this World Series. Kirk Reeder, who started Game 6 or Game 4 and went 6 innings for the San Francisco Giants, that's as far as he's gone. You get the feeling that Mike Scioscia, the manager of the Angels, in treating Appier tonight, who only went 2 innings before, as you said, is going to treat him like a middle reliever in a close ball game. I don't think at the first sign of trouble, I think Scioscia will have the pin in there.
And really on the other side for San Francisco, if they get a lead, they'll treat this like a Game 7. They want to avoid tomorrow night at all costs. We get ready for baseball. We're in Southern California again, getting ready for Game 6. Beach Boys, it's all yours. These fans have had a few days to relax, rest up after Game 2, and they're cranked and ready for Game 6. Here's the lineup. For San Francisco, Kenny Lofton will lead off in center field. Rich Aurilia bats second. He's the shortstop. Jeff Kent plays second. He hits third. Barry Bonds, Benito Santiago, and JT Snow in the middle. Reggie Sanders bats seventh. Then David Bell, who's been red hot for the Giants. Sean Dunston is the DH, batting in the number 9 spot. Here is Kevin Appier, and all eyes on Appier, who has pitched a total of 32 innings in his last 7 starts.
He has never beaten the Giants in 4 career starts, including last Sunday night, like a middle reliever in a close game. That's how he will be treated this evening by Mike Scioscia. He runs a lot of deep counts. He threw more pitches to American League batters than any other pitcher in the league this year.
The umpires, Tim McClelland is behind home plate, joined by Jerry Crawford, Angel Hernandez, Tim Sheeta, Mike Winters, and Mike Riley. Tim McClelland has one of the most deliberate and delayed strike calls. I'll say one of the most. How about the most? And it drives managers and catchers in particular crazy, because he is very relaxed when he calls strikes. And Mike Scioscia, watching as Appier takes his warm-up tosses. McClelland is also a guy who doesn't historically give a lot off the corners, which could really be trouble for Kevin Appier.
For a guy like Appier or Russ Ortiz, guys who have a tough time in the strike zone anyway. Where Tim McClelland, as you take a look at Dusty Baker's son, Darren, where Tim McClelland could come into play tonight is on a 3-2 or a 3-1 count, with the runner on first running. When a catcher needs a quick call, if he gives that delayed call, it could affect the outcome of an inning.
Kenny Lofton first up with Aurilia and Kent to follow. An electric atmosphere here in Anaheim. And Lofton, who is 6 out of 10 over his last 2 games, and a big reason why the Giants have won the last 2 games, digs his way in. We're glad you're with us on a Saturday night for Game 6. Let's play ball in Anaheim, California. A couple of deep breaths from Appier, and away we go. Ball 1. The World Series broadcast being heard in Spanish through the length and breadth of the continents of North and South America via our colleagues at Fox Sports and Espanol here in the USA, Fox Sports Latin America. Glad they're with us tonight as well. Pop up left side and playable. Next up, 1 out. So Appier takes care of the leadoff hitter, and now Rich Aurilia, another hitter who has really set the table for Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds. The problem with Kent is up until Game 5, he hadn't cashed in on a lot of those opportunities. But Aurilia has done all he can, 5 out of 10 in his last 2 games. And against Appier was 0 for 2 in Game 2. Biggest start in the big league career of the 34-year-old right-hander Kevin Appier. And a good breaking ball in for strike one. With one out, nobody on. That missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just so you know, after Lofton made the out, the Giants have a young man in the dugout who's cueing Darren Baker when to run out and get the bat, trying to avoid what was a near disaster in Game 5. Aurelia pops it up. Shallow center for Erstad. 2 up, 2 down.
I guess with Anaheim being so close to Los Angeles, it's a good age to start learning about being cued. Last Sunday, Appier retired the Giants in order in the top of the first inning. And then the Angels struck for 5. And then he walked Barry Bonds to lead off the second inning. And that spelled trouble as the Giants came back with 4 runs.
Got through the second, did not retire a man in the third inning. And combined, Appier and Ortiz went 3 2/3 innings in Game 2. Here's Kent. Strike 1. Kent did homer against Appier back in Game 2, but in Game 5 came alive with a walk, a double, and a pair of 2-run home runs. That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. A clean-shaven Jared Washburn wondering if he'll get a chance to pitch before the end of this World Series. Barry Bonds on deck. One.
John Lackey and Jared Washburn will be available tomorrow. Other than that, everybody on the Angels staff available this evening.
And again, with a lead in the middle innings, the Giants then will turn around and play it like it's their Game 7, trying to play keep away as Kent nearly takes the hat off the head of Kevin Appier with a 2-out single. So Kent and the Giants hoping that he can stay hot and present Barry Bonds with RBI opportunities.
Fastball away, right over the head of Kevin Appier.
And now it's Bonds. And it's going to be a 2-out, man at first, intentional walk. The fans in San Francisco, I'm sure, are going crazy. And those that are here from San Francisco waving rubber chickens around as they did back at Pac Bell Park. This will put 2 on with 2 out for Santiago.
If you're a Giants fan, you got to like what's happening. Walking Bonds here, you're walking Jeff Kent into scoring position.
There's ball 4 to put 2 on with 2 out.
I mean, to me, this is one of those careful pitch around situations as opposed to an intentional walk. Mike Scioscia with runners on at first and third in the first and third with 1 out of Game 4 walked in intentionally. Now with 2 outs, walking a runner into scoring position, I don't agree with that.
Well, here's Santiago, who's taken advantage of opportunities like this, hitting .364 with 11 RBIs in the postseason following a walk to Barry Bonds. And a new baseball for Kevin Appier. So this is what Jeff Kent getting hot produces for the Giants. A 2-out hit. The Angels walk Barry Bonds. And the Giants now are a well-placed hit away from taking a Game 6 first inning lead. 2 on, 2 out. That's too far inside, ball 1.
Appier wanted that slider. It's one of those sliders that are designed for the middle of the plate. You can see Molina setting up in the middle of the plate. Appier, if Appier doesn't get that pitch, he's going to be in trouble.
Santiago somehow got out of the way of that pitch and make it 2-0.
Fastball inside, way inside, and Santiago jumping back from the Appier fastball right on the hands.
So now the chance is even better for the Giants with 2 on, 2 out. A 2-0 count on Santiago. The 37-year-old NLCS most valuable player. They put the Giants out in front in game 6, and a breaking ball on 2-0 to make it 2-1.
This with the slider, way inside with the fastball, and now the slider for his first strike.
Mike Scioscia made the decision to put Barry Bonds on intentionally after the hit by Kent. And here's a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch to Santiago. 2-2.
Breaking ball and a beauty right there. That's the best slider Appier has thrown in the World Series.
Playable. Spezio, Appier out of trouble. A big reason why the Giants got past the Braves and into the NLCS. Russ Ortiz did not get through 2 innings in game 2. Here's a lineup for the Angels. Eckstein, Erstad, and Salmon. In the middle, Anderson, Gloss, and Fulmer, the DH. Russ Ortiz, high school teammate. Then Spezio, Molina, and Adam Kennedy back in the number 9 spot. Here is Russ Ortiz, 2-0 this postseason, but ineffective his last 2 starts.
Winning games 1 and 5 for the Giants against the Atlanta Braves.
Both games in Atlanta. Eckstein first up. And a strike on the inside corner. Eckstein hitting .311 overall this postseason. 8 for 22 in the World Series. Erstad and Salmon will follow. Eckstein talked about how when this World Series is over, 27-year-old Eckstein will head back to Sanford, Florida. Back to his parents' house, wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and take out the trash. Back to regular life after this dream postseason for a young shortstop who was put on waivers by the Red Sox 2 years ago. The 2-1 pitch popped up. Shallow left, and Bonds plenty of room and time to get there. 1 away. Bud Black, the pitching coach for the Angels, had this to say to Kevin Appier after the top of the first.
Good tempo. Very quiet. Yes, good. Very good. Hey, to the first 2 guys, just where you want to be. All right? That's good.
Tempo, rhythm, and cadence so vital to a pitcher. Walking Barry Bonds intentionally after the Ken hit, but pitching effectively to Santiago.
Here's Erstad with 1 out, nobody on. Strike one over the outside corner. 93 miles per hour from Russ Ortiz, who grew up in the Valley, Encino. A ton of family and friends on hand to watch him, hoping for better results than they witnessed in game 2. Chopper to Kent, has to wait for Snow to get to the bag. 2 out.
Our scouting report on Russ Ortiz: to stay ahead, forget about it, even though it's been strike one to both Eckstein and Erstad. A right-handed pitcher with left-handed stuff, that means he can't throw a ball straight. Most left-handers can't either, and as he proved in game 2, he dances through the raindrops. A short night, however, last Sunday.
Here's Salmon with the bases empty, 2 out. Hit a home run against Ortiz in game 2. And hit the game winner later that night, much later that night, against Felix Rodriguez. The save came from Percival, who has made only that appearance in this World Series. And the series was even at a game apiece. The Angels won game 3 at San Francisco. The Giants got a strong start, as it turned out, from Kirk Reeder in game 4, and then pounded on the Angels in game 5, winning it 16-4. Two balls, no strikes on Salmon. Three balls, no strikes.
It's doubtful that Socia will turn Salmon loose. 3-0 against a guy who throws high fastballs. Salmon, a very good low ball hitter.
A catch and release kind of thing, turning Salmon loose. With the bases empty and Anderson on deck, a strike over the outside part of the plate. Now Salmon will take a swipe if he sees something he likes. Good fastball, full count.
Good fastball, but not to his liking. Not bell tied. Lower that pitch about 3 inches. That's his power.
Ortiz shooting for a perfect first inning. Out of play. That's up. I think that's literally into the section of Giants fans and Russ Ortiz fans that he brought to the park with him. They're easy to spot in this sea of red here in Anaheim, wearing all black. Another on 3-2. David Bell. Down go the Angels. 1-2-3. Second inning rolls in. Game number 6. Back to the hill. Apier. Giants, Angels. No score. JT Snow first up for the Giants. No score. Second inning. And ball one. It's Snow, Sanders, and David Bell. If anybody gets on the DH, Sean Dunston. Big numbers for JT Snow. He's had a tremendous postseason. And according to many, should have gotten a save in game number 5 for what he did on that play at the plate with Darren Baker. The world is aware of JT Snow, if for no other reason than what he did for Darren Baker. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 6-time Gold Glove Award winner had never shown better hands than grabbing Darren on his way past the plate.
Close to 370 and a save. Not a bad World Series thus far.
The 1-1 pitch from Apier. Into center field, not well hit. Nerstad is there. 1 out. Reggie Sanders coming up. Here are his thoughts on playing for Dusty Baker.
He's like a father figure. You know, Dusty is definitely a guy that I've always wanted to play for. Finally got the opportunity to do that. For me, I think what sticks out in my mind the most is his honesty. It's very tough to be a manager and being as honest as you can, because things change, and we understand that. But if things do change, he'll call you in your office, look you in your eye, and tell you this is what's going on.
Will he be doing that for the Giants next year? Some other team, or taking a year off? The future is uncertain for Dusty Baker, unsigned past this season as a breaking ball missed inside, ball 1. One thing that isn't unclear is the immediate future for Dusty Baker, who next weekend will take his father on a trip to South Bend, Indiana to watch Notre Dame. By the way, took care of Florida State today. Notre Dame will be playing Boston College, something he has always wanted to do. A 1-0. There's a strike from Appier.
Neither Dusty nor his dad have ever been to South Bend.
One out, the base is empty. Appier watches Sanders get out of there. Dusty's dad called him and said, "Remember that coat you got me a few years ago, that heavy overcoat? Well, the moths got it. We may need to get a new one before we take that trip." In for strike 2.
It was just such a count that Reggie Sanders homered against Kevin Appier to put the Giants on the board last Sunday. An 0-2 fastball inside, a 3-run home run, and at the time that made it 5-3 Angels.
With 1 out, now 2 out. First strikeout of the night for Appier, and the early returns on the breaking ball for Appier tight with a lot of bite.
When Appier gets on top of the breaking ball, it goes down. It's actually the same grip. If he drops the arm level, it's parallel to the ground. If he gets on top of it, it goes down like a curveball. On top of the ball. Good curveball slider / slider to Sanders.
Here's David Bell. 2 out, bases empty in the second. Ball 1. Bell 4 for 7 his last 2 games. And look at his overall numbers in the World Series. 375 out of the number 8 spot. Oh, that caught the outside corner. And a 1-1 count as Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire, gave that pitch to Appier. With 2 out, the base is cleared. Bell, strike 2. If you go on recent history, the odds are not with Kevin Appier, but if you look at what he did during the regular season, he won 14 games and had an ERA at 3.92.
And if you look at what he's doing right now, he is pitching with the confidence that he didn't have last Sunday.
Two and 2. Scioscia gives a look after the Angels don't get this pitch.
From the side, it's difficult for a manager to see whether a pitch is outside or inside. They can tell the height.
Garrett Anderson, the number 4 hitter for the Angels, first up. Gloss and Fulmer will follow. Ortiz took something off that pitch. Strike 1. Anderson, 7 hits in this World Series. Over 300 for the postseason. Anderson 1 for 2 against Ortiz. Back in game 2. The count evens a ball and a strike. Two and one.
Good breaking ball from Ortiz. Kevin Appier didn't get some close pitches in the top of the second. Ortiz wanted that breaking ball.
Anderson into deep center field. At the wall, it's Lofton for the out. About 400 feet away, and Anderson makes a loud first out here in the second.
Garrett Anderson still looking for his first extra base hit of the World Series. Fastball low and away, a two-seamer. Lofton with room.
Here's Gloss. One out, base is empty. Ortiz has set down the first 4. Good pitch for strike 1.
Usually when a hitter comes back and checks his bat like that, he doesn't think he hit it on the sweet part of the bat. Maybe a little down on the end. He hit a long way to hit it down on the end.
Gloss spun out of there by Ortiz. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Second time in as many games as Gloss has received a high hard one. What a force he has been for the Angels throughout the playoffs and the World Series.
Batting out of the number 5 spot. 7 home runs. Gloss was trying to launch after getting flipped by Ortiz, and it's 1-2.
That's when a hitter is the happiest, when he smokes one after being knocked down.
Gloss set up at a ball and 2 strikes. Ortiz in search of his first strikeout. Two and 2. The 28-year-old Russ Ortiz on 2-2 to Gloss. Full count. Family and friends that were handed tickets by Russ Ortiz prior to this game 6 start. The California native ready on 3-2 to Gloss. Foul tip, still full.
Troy Gloss, not only the classic power hitter, 118 home runs over the last 3 years, but he has shown during the postseason what a good hitter he is. Adjusting after 2 strikes. The Giants, when they've had success, have gone up the ladder to get him.
That missed up the ladder and a 1-out walk. Dusty Baker, the Giants manager, talks about Russ Ortiz, what he hopes for tonight and what he did in game 2.
Anybody, any given night, I don't care what your name is, that you can have a bad night. And, you know, when you see greats having bad nights, especially in the playoffs and under pressure where they never have bad nights before, hey, man, I let you know that you're capable too. And, you know, we don't anticipate he'll have 2. We don't anticipate he'll have a very, very, good night.
Not too much more time for bad nights.
First base runner of the night for Anaheim, and that brings in Brad Fulmer, who played high school baseball with a man on the mound at Van Nuys Montclair Prep. And that's a strike. Montclair Prep. These two teammates, Russ Ortiz was a senior in the pitching staff on his way off to Oklahoma. And Brad Fulmer was putting together a record-setting hitting career in high school. He had 508 with 30 home runs and 130 RBIs. One on, one out. One ball, one strike. Two and one.
Good hitting spot for Brad Fulmer. American League pitchers try to pitch him inside. The reason for that, he's got that curl where the bat is curled almost facing the pitcher. Got a long way to come to hit the ball out in front.
Two and two.
That pitch right there, he has a very difficult time catching up to. You can see he's got to come all the way out here. That's a long way to go. Little time to do it. And he fouls this one off.
No score, second inning, game 6. Broken bat, pop up for Aurelio. 2 out.
That's the best fastball Ortiz could throw to Brad Fulmer. He crowds him, as you see right there, breaks his bat, and a harmless fly to short.
Now Dusty Baker is going to come out and talk to the home plate umpire, Tim McClellan. And look at Benito Santiago, who maybe took the foul tip or took the follow-through swing from Fulmer.
A lot of times hitters will tell a catcher when he has a backswing. It looked like he hit him on the top of the left thumb. That backswing by Fulmer clipping Santiago. Watch how the top hand comes off the bat. Benito appears to be all right. Fortunately, that was his glove hand right on the top of the left thumb.
The hitter is Spezio. And that's a strike on the outside corner. Scott, 5 out of 17 in the World Series, 5 RBIs. 347 overall after lighting up in the first 2 rounds. Lost with a short lead.
The differences between these two ball clubs are about 3 feet away from one another. Spezio has made the Angels like Santiago has made the Giants.
In fact, tonight's starter, Kevin Appier, was traded to Anaheim for Mo Vaughn, the former first baseman for the Angels, as Spezio flies into center for Lofton. And the second inning is over. A 1-out walk to Gloss. The Angels strand their first. Third inning now. Dunston, Lofton, Aurelia coming up for the Giants. A win tonight, they're world champions. Sean Dunston first up. He's the DH tonight for Dusty Baker, as he was in Game 2. Did not get a hit against Kevin Appier. The World Series 1 for 6. Big hit in the NLCS Game 5, the clincher against the Cardinals. And here's Dunston starting the 3rd inning with no score. Dunston first came up back in 1985. Played with the Cubs until 1995. And he goes after the first pitch and flies it into right. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 3rd inning. Before the game, Sean Dunston Jr., who runs out to get Dad's bat, was being stretched by Sean Dunston Sr. What's going on with these Giants? And then, like any good father-son combination, Junior will stretch Senior.
What a great shot.
That's really something that's important to Dusty Baker, and it's something that's kind of taken on a life of its own with these Giants. Some have called it a daycare center down there in the dugout for San Francisco. But everybody is welcome to bring their kids. A bunt attempt. Gloss was waiting for it. 2 out. Lofton did not catch Gloss sleeping at 3rd.
What a play by Gloss. Look how far he comes for this bunt. When he feels the ball and throws it, he's in foul territory. Look how far he comes for that bunt. Fine play by Troy Gloss. When you pick a ball up like that, you have to be ready to throw it. So it's not a bare hand pickup, it's almost a bare fingered pickup, because there's no way to adjust the ball into the throwing position. Good play by Gloss.
And now with 2 out, here's Aurelia. Dusty Baker telling us that Kenny Lofton is the best bunter he's ever had. You could tell him that it's coming. They could play 50 feet away and he could still get on base. But Gloss was ready. And with 2 out, nobody on, Aurelia takes ball 1 outside.
Well, if you're a left-handed bunter and you can make a third baseman barehand the ball to get you out, you'll take those chances every time.
With 2 out, a 1-0 pitch. Breaking balls low with suddenly red-hot Jeff Kent on deck. And then bombs. Aurelia fly to center his first time up. Looking for a pitch to hammer on 2-0. And that's ball 3. With 2 out and nobody on, a 3-0 pitch is taken for strike 1. 90 miles per hour from Kevin Appier. That's about where he will top out. Appier had a torn labrum years ago with Kansas City.
Yeah, it's not the velocity that makes Kevin effective. It's the movement.
With 2 out, Aurelia checked his swing on ball 4 up and in. Second walk, first unintentional walk, and that'll bring Jeff Kent to the plate. Kent has a hit tonight. 3 hits in Game 5.
Remember that soundbite by Bud Black, the pitching coach of the Angels, about the rhythm and cadence of Kevin Appier. That's what a walk does. It throws off your rhythm. 5 balls, 4 out of the strike zone to Aurelia.
Never has defeated the Giants, including the postseason, in 4 career starts. Kevin Appier trying to break that string, or at least give his team a chance to win here in Game 6. They're only looking and hoping for 5 or so innings out of Kevin Appier, and then it's going to be a long night for the bullpen for Mike Scioscia.
Socia telling us before the game that even in the 5th inning, there's a possibility Francisco Rodriguez would be used.
And 0-1 to Kent. Blocked by Molina. Go ahead run at first, 2 out in the 3rd inning. That missed the inside corner, 2-1. And Socia says, come on, Tim, after the Angels don't get this pitch.
That tailing fastball inside. From that shot, it looks inside. A lot of times pitchers can catch front corners with pitches, and a catcher can catch it out of the strike zone.
A 2-1 delivery. Popped up. Playable. Eckstein out. Anderson letting him go a long way to catch that ball to end the inning. A 2-out walk to Kent. Darren Baker hard at work in game 6. No score into the bottom of inning number 3. Bottom of the 3rd inning, no score in game 6, and Russ Ortiz heads back to work. Benji Molina slices one down the right side for Sanders. 1 pitch, 1 out. He's in with 1 out, nobody on here in the 3rd inning, and takes a strike. Freehold, New Jersey, near Asbury Park, where Bruce grew up. And so no surprise that Socia would pick him as Kennedy takes ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
No later than Monday, one of these two teams will be celebrating glory days.
One out, nobody on. The number 9 hitter Kennedy comes up empty. Our Sprint virtual manager question, with Bonds leading off. Next inning, do you pitch to Barry Bonds? Vote now using PCS Vision from Sprint, or log on to foxsports.com. You, Tim, don't have to log on or get out your phone.
No.
Just tell me.
Yes, I would.
A 1-2 pitch to Kennedy. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I was wrong the last time. I thought Mike Socia would not walk Barry with 2 outs and Jeff Kent on at first base, but he put him on intentionally.
Base is empty in front of Adam Kennedy here in the 3rd inning. Kennedy fouls it back. And as always, we remind you that this is merely an exhibition, not a competition. Please, no wagering on those questions. So, Tim, it's all in good fun. Kennedy 5 hits and 18 trips to the plate in this World Series. Trying to get something started with 1 out in the 3rd. Stays up there. I'll say this about Kevin Appier as well. Not only are his pitches moving well, not only is his tempo good while in his delivery, but his tempo between pitches has been a little quicker and a little more crisp than we're used to.
He has picked it up.
Ortiz on 2-2 deals, and Kennedy fights it off. The only blemish on the record of Russ Ortiz, the 1-out walk to Gloss last inning, got around it. Kennedy strikes out. 2 outs in the inning with Eckstein coming up, listed at 5'8". We asked him, come on, David, 5'7". How tall are you?
That's a stretch. I if I have shoes on, I'll probably hit the 5'7" mark, but I think more in the 5'6.5" range.
5'6.5" digs in with 2 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We didn't even ask him about the 170.
No. David has 19 hits in the postseason, and he doesn't have an extra base hit, but he seems like he has.
1 ball, no strikes. Sprint virtual manager question. 84%, I would imagine most aren't thinking strategy. They just want to see Bonds swing the bat.
Sure.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ortiz pitching very well. One and 2.
Concerning Barry Bonds, I think what the Giants have seen this year, they've seen their opponents try to get ahead of the San Francisco Giants more than any other team to make the at-bats by Bonds become more inconsequential.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Eckstein grounds to short. Aurelia had to come a long way. Good play, and the inning is over. The Angels go in order. We go to the 4th. It'll be Bonds, Santiago, and Snow. Giants trying to get a lead. Middle innings, Game 6. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver with you here in the booth, and I am with you on this one. I think we are going to see pitches for Barry Bonds to try and hit out of this ballpark.
I think we're going to see pitches on one side of the plate or the other. I'd be very surprised if Apier throws anything down the middle of the plate to Bonds.
Bonds leading it off. Santiago and Snow will follow. Away we go. Ball 1 low. Again, an intentional pass to Bonds with a runner at first, 2 out in the 1st, and Apier then ran the count to 2-0 on Santiago, who's next here. Came back and got him on a foul out to the first baseman. Bonds ready for a 1-0 pitch. That's on the inside corner. A ball and a strike.
Threading the needle, and he gets the strike. The slider just hitting.
Hitting .500 in this World Series. He's been walked 25 times in the postseason. 13 intentional walks. That's over but low. 2 balls and a strike. Bonds takes ball 3, 3-1. So you look at the other side, a leadoff walk could start trouble for the San Francisco Giants.
Sure.
It did back in Game 2 when Apier had a 5-0 lead and walked Bonds leading off the 2nd. Bonds was moving around ready to take the pitch, and the ball came in at his shoe tops and almost clipped him. A leadoff walk. Here's Kevin Apier talking about pitching to Bonds in this World Series.
He deserves that much respect, and he's, you know, the talk about him is not, how would you say, out of place by overestimating him at all. He's that dangerous, that potent. You know, he struck out only 40-something times this year, and when he does make contact with the ball, it's usually hard. So, you know, that's a big part of their game, and how we approach that is quite significant.
47 strikeouts, 46 home runs.
Leadoff man is on. First time that's happened tonight for the Giants. And here's Santiago. And there's ball 1. Let's take a look at that 3-1 pitch that came in around the ankles.
Whoa, says Barry. He was hit 9 times this year.
Well, you didn't think they'd walk him in the 1st. They did. I didn't think they'd pitch around him, and it looked like Apier, especially when he fell behind, pitched around Bonds to lead off here in the 4th. They did. And now the Giants trying to take advantage of a man at first and nobody out. Santiago drops one down. All that spin on it. It hops foul. Not a bad idea. Gloss was very deep, and it's 1-1.
This was a bunt for a base hit. If Gloss fielded it properly, then it's a sacrifice. But certainly a bunt for a base hit, and the English takes it foul. Reminiscent of the Lofton bunt the other night that was so important in Game 4. The game won by the Giants on the David Bell hit in the 8th, 4-3.
Not only the David Bell hit, but the leadoff base hit by J.T. Snow, which allowed Bell the opportunity for the RBI. Hits against Francisco Rodriguez, who was pitching that inning. Hits coming against him from the windup have been scarce. A 1-1 pitch. Santiago took ball 2. 2-1.
Mike Scioscia, that's the third question for Tim McClellan. That pitch was a little low, I thought. Scioscia realizing that Appier has to have those borderline calls to be effective.
So the count in Santiago's favor. Runner at first, nobody out. A low throw over, scooped up by Spezio. Again, Santiago came into this game 8 out of 22 following a Bonds walk. First inning, he fouled out. Another walk to Bonds and a 2-1 pitch to Santiago. On the inside corner, 2-2.
Again on the corner with the fastball.
Game 6, no score. 4th inning, Giants up 3-2. To third. Nice pick by Gloss. Kennedy double play. 5-4-3 to clear the bases.
The good infielders will keep their glove below the hops. And that way, when that tricky hop occurs, they absorb it. Nicely done by Gloss. Realizing who is running, and Kennedy turns it.
So the Angels got away with a walk to Bonds in the first, and again here in the 4th with the double play ball following. And J.T. Snow bats with the bases empty, 2 down. A bender missed for ball 1. Snow with 2 home runs in this postseason. 1 in the World Series, and that came in Game 1 against Washburn.
That ball that Santiago hit was hit very hard. When it's hit that hard, often runners will not have a chance to get down on top of the second baseman. Kennedy releasing that ball before Bonds could get to him.
And Kennedy had a leg up on a Hall of Famer. A 2-0 pitch. 2-1. On 2-1 with 2 outs. Snow hits it to second. Kennedy. Inning over. Kevin Appier pitching like the tough big game pitcher they thought they acquired from the Mets, turning in a good one through 4. Bottom of the 4th, no score in Game 6. Russ Ortiz back to the hill. Erstad, Salmon, and Anderson coming up for the Angels. No score. To the second baseman, Kent. One out. Bud Black, wearing a microphone, the pitching coach for the Angels, had this discussion with Kevin Apier after the top of this fourth.
Those first two to Snow, a little quick again. And you got a little excited about the double play ball.
My slide step carried over.
Yeah. Then that last pitch, that last pitch was great. As far as, you know, you're quiet, you got over the rubber, had a nice turn.
Remember that reaction after the double play ball, turned nicely by Gloss, and then 2 straight balls to Snow.
Salmon takes ball 1. Here's the double play hit into by Santiago. 5-4-3 after the walk to Bonds, and that little reaction, a few extra jolts of energy, and the first 2 missed to JT Snow. 2-0 now on Salmon. Russ Ortiz has not allowed a hit. The Giants have 1. Good play by Aurelia in the hole. Can he finish? Salmon on with a 1-out hit.
Tim Salmon getting out of the box very well. A nice play by Aurelia. To his right knee, he looked like he had a tough time with the transfer, and clearly a hit for Tim Salmon. Salmon getting down the line very well as Snow can't come up with the short hop. Right there, when he brought the glove down, it looked like he had a tough time with the transfer. The throw is low. Snow can't come up with it, and the Angels have their first hit.
Now Garrett Anderson. Timeout. Timeout by Santiago, the catcher, prior to the throw over by Ortiz. Anderson flied to the wall in center his first time up. Turn 4-6-3 to end the inning and erase the hit by Salmon. Both pitchers turning in 4 shutout innings here in Game 6. Now the 5th, no score. Back after this from your local Fox station. The old water feature out in center field, and the rocks that they put in when they renovated this Anaheim stadium. The 1998 season. And this Game 6 moves into the 5th inning, and Reggie Sanders first up. Bell and Dunston will follow against Apier. The fastball gets past the bat of Sanders upstairs, strike 1.
We've said it many times, that's where teams try to pitch Sanders, above the belt.
Home plate umpire Tim McClellan just asked for the baseball, inspected it, and put it back in play. Too far inside, a ball and a strike. Xander struck out his first time. Apier struck out 2. Ortiz 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1 hit. But a double play hit into by Anderson, and Russ Ortiz has faced only 1 over the minimum. Popped up. Eckstein. 1 out. October's magical matchups continue tomorrow with Fox NFL Sunday, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. Then it's history in the making as Emmitt Smith needs just 93 yards against Seattle to break Walter Payton's all-time rushing record. Or the Cardinals take on Terrell Owens and the 49ers in an NFC West showdown with first place at stake. Or other regional action. All part of a full weekend of magical matchups. There you go. That all takes place on Fox. And then if necessary, meaning if the Angels win tonight, Game 7 tomorrow night, San Francisco and Anaheim right here. 1 out in the 5th. Strike 1 to David Bell. 2 home runs this postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Joe, this by far the best start of 2 pitchers in any World Series game. The starters have been poor, the bullpens have been strong, but tonight it's the starters.
Strike 2 on Bell. You think of what these two did in Game 2. They combined for 3 2/3 innings, 12 runs on 14 hits. Apier's gone 4 1/3, Ortiz 4. No runs on a total of 2 hits here in Game 6. Here's a 1-2 to David Bell with 1 out. That caught dirt and then caught Molina. 2-2.
Even in a shutout, both catchers having problems. Santiago hit on the back of the left thumb. And this ball bouncing up and naturally hitting Molina. I say naturally because that baseball seems to find you occasionally, even though you have the chest protector on. Came up and pinched that left shoulder.
It's not sweat, those are tears rolling down his cheeks. Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire, gave Molina a chance to let some of that pain subside. Now Bell gets out as we await the 2-2 pitch. Squirter to the shortstop. Eckstein can't make the play. Off the end of the bat, and David Bell is on with 1 out here in the 5th. Base hit in the 7th of this World Series for Bell.
That's an unreadable grounder. The ball, as you properly call it, squirting toward Eckstein, and he dives over the ball. It hits the heel of the glove. And even if David had come up with that ball, he doesn't get Bell too much to do. That was one of the vintage Apier pitches. The slider on the outside hit off the end of the bat. And Bell with an infield hit.
Now it's Dunston with Lofton on deck. Go ahead run at first. 1 out in the 5th.
And a good guy with whom to hit and run in Sean Dunston, a low ball hitter.
Dunston fly to right, the first pitch back in the 3rd inning. 1 out of 7 in the World Series. Breaking ball missed for ball 1. Francisco Rodriguez getting ready for Anaheim in their bullpen.
Talked about it earlier. Mike Scioscia saying that it was not too early to bring Rodriguez into the game in the 5th inning.
We're in the 5th, 1 on, 1 out. If those are called from the bench, those throws over could be trying to buy time for Rodriguez to get ready in the bullpen. Dunston in a key spot for the Giants here in the 5th inning.
It's a very good point, Joe. Normally, even though Apier has pitched very well, a manager would call a pitcher to throw over to first base to thwart a steal or a hit and run. But here, with Rodriguez up and throwing, good time to send Bell right here.
That's foul down the left field side. Off the bat of Dunston. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dusty Baker saying that Sean Dunston got his start last Sunday against Apier because in order to be effective, Apier has to keep the ball down. Dunston a low ball hitter. He did get 1 hit in that game on Sunday night. A game lost by the Giants 11-10.
The hit came against Lackey, who is the probable Game 7 starter for the Angels if there is a Game 7. The 1-1. Francisco Rodriguez did not pitch in Game 5. The travel day yesterday, so he's had 2 days off and should be raring to go. But before Rodriguez, it's a matchup of Dunston and Apier, and Dunston could put the Giants in a good spot. Driven deep into left field. Back is Anderson at the wall. 2-0 Giants. Home run Sean Dunston. And in Game 6, a 5th inning lead.
Swing of the bat and kisses for everybody. We said Dunston was a low ball hitter, and he chooses a down and in fastball off Apier to put the Giants on top.
Now it's Lofton, and it's a strike over the inside corner.
Get up! Get up! Go!
2-0 San Francisco in the 5th inning of Game 6. A win away from a world championship. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lofton. Up with the Cubs in 1985. And here with the Giants in 2002. The biggest swing of the bat in his long big league career. And Sean Jr. was right there watching. A 1-1. Lofton takes ball 2.
It was Sean Jr.'s stretching that was responsible for that home run. We saw it earlier.
Those two playing around before this Game 6. With 1 out, nobody on, 2 balls and a strike on Lofton. Now 3-1, and Apier may be facing his last hitter of the night with Aureli and Kent to follow, and Rodriguez ready in the bullpen. Driven into right center field, well hit. This ball is down and cut off. A double by Lofton. He's at second with 1 out. And that's it for Kevin Appier. Shutout baseball through 4 1/3. But a base hit by David Bell, followed by a 2-run home run by the DH and number 9 hitter Sean Dunston. The double by Lofton. And Appier's night here in Game 6.
And Appier not at all happy with Scioscia.
The night is finished. This a big reason why. Dunston with a 1-out, 2-run home run. The double followed, a runner at second. Still only 1 out. And Sean Dunston right now a Game 6 hero for San Francisco. Pitching change, Angels. First pitch from Rodriguez to Aurelia. Runner at second with 1 out here in the 5th inning. And that misses, ball 1. Francisco Rodriguez, a 5-1 record with a 1.20 ERA. The one loss came in Game 4.
Lofton trying to time Rodriguez. He gave him an extra look. Could certainly understand the competitive fire of Appier in being taken out of this game. If it's regular season, no way. But you can understand Mike Scioscia having to make that move with the Angels facing elimination.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Aurelia. Strike 2. When Appier relieved Kevin Appier, that reaction on the mound, and then in the dugout, this. All he can do now is sit and watch. Watch the 20-year-old Francisco Rodriguez try to end this top of the 5th and keep it a 2-run game. Francisco Rodriguez became the youngest pitcher to win a World Series game, and then in Game 4 the second youngest to lose one. Lofton at second after the double, 1 out, and Aurelia gets a piece. Kent next, and then Bonds. The Angels in the bottom of this inning will have Gloss, Fulmer, and Spezio. The focus back in the other dugout, and Russ Ortiz, who has allowed only 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Lofton stealing third. Picked a good pitch. And he's at third with only 1 out.
Just a matter of time. The slider away. Short hop. Molina can't handle it. The throw to third too late. Timing from Lofton. Keep in mind that no manager will ever give a runner at second base the steal sign unless it's part of a hit and run. Ever. They're on their own always. Good jump, good time to do it.
That will bring the infield in for Anaheim, as the count's gone to 2-2 with 1 out on Aurelia, and Francisco Rodriguez needs 1 of his strikeouts. To the shortstop, Eckstein looks at Lofton, gets the out, 2 out.
Infield in, you have to make the ball go through. Another tough slider. Often in their haste, infielders will look at the runner and not center the ball. That ball hitting in the heel of the glove because Eckstein was checking Lofton at third base.
Al Lofton to third with 2 out for Jeff Kent, who has a hit tonight. He also popped up. Looking for a big 2-out RBI hit for the Giants, who lead 2-0. That nasty slider for strike 1. Right side, foul ball, out of play. Strike 2.
Pitchers have to have a lot of confidence in their catchers to throw the types of sliders that they're capable of throwing in situations like this. If they throw it in the dirt, your catcher can't come up with it. You have a tendency to back off of it. That's why a guy like Bengie Molina is so valuable to these Angels pitchers.
In the dirt, here comes Lofton. 3-0 San Francisco. A double, a stolen base, and an 0-2 slider in the dirt that Molina tried to backhand and couldn't keep it at the plate.
I was thinking the same thing, Joe. Uncharacteristic for Bengie Molina, trying to backhand the ball like an infielder would, and a wild pitch. Lofton on the stolen base, and now the wild pitch gives the Giants a valuable 3rd run.
The 1-2 pitch, Kent. Gloss. Inning over. Before the game, Sean Johnston Jr. stretching Dad. Dad shoots one over the wall in the 5th inning. Sean Dunston to make it 2-0. A double by Lofton, a stolen base. San Francisco carries a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th of Game 6. Bottom of the 5th inning, and the Angels down 3-2, trail in Game 6, 3-0. Gloss, Fulmer, and Spezio for Russ Ortiz, who has been terrific. On the outside corner, strike 1.
That is about as animated as Mike Scioscia will be with any umpire. Talking to home plate umpire Tim McClellan, perhaps about some of the pitches that Appier made.
Oh, and 2 on Gloss. Gloss walked his first time. Ortiz just missed the inside corner.
Good 0-2 pitch right there.
Now it's 1-2. And Gloss hits one to deep center field. Back at the wall. Caught by Lofton.
Santiago wanted that fastball up. He was emphasizing get it up with his target. Ortiz got it up, and Gloss almost got it up. But Lofton hauls it in.
So the leadoff man is gone. And as you look at Lofton, you think back to July 28th when San Francisco made the trade with the White Sox. And now here in Game 6 of the World Series, how important has Lofton been in this postseason for San Francisco? With what he did in Game 1 of the NLCS in St. Louis. Everybody We've seen highlights then of Matt Morris after a home run, running one up and in, or Mike Crudale rather, after Morris gave up the home run. Lofton ends up getting the game-winning hit with 2 out in the 9th inning of Game 5. And the last 3 games has been in the middle of everything for San Francisco. Fulmer, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lofton came into this game 6 out of his last 10 over the last couple of World Series games. And after the home run by Dunston, doubled into right center, stole third, and that proved very large as he scored in the wild pitch by Francisco Rodriguez to make it 3-0. The 1-1. Fulmer, strike 2.
After Dunston's home run, Lofton ran home. That steal of third base. Good changeup to Brad Fulmer. When Rodriguez was warming up, Sonny Jackson, the third base coach of the Giants, went out to talk to Lofton. And I would imagine the fact that Rodriguez's breaking ball and fastball has so much action, easier to run on guys like that because it's tougher from a catcher's position to throw. And as you mentioned, Joe, the right pitch on which to run, the ball in the dirt. And then he came home on the wild pitch.
It's 2-2 on Fulmer with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. The Anaheim starter, Apier, lasted 4 1/3. Fulmer jammed a bit and into right field for Reggie Sanders, 2 out. Our Chevy Trucks in-game box score. The Angels. The only single belongs to Salmon, and it was an infield single. And a walk to Gloss with 1 out in the 2nd. Otherwise, absolutely nothing against Russ Ortiz as he turns in 4 2/3 innings of shutout ball on 1 hit. Now it's Spezio. Ball 1. Both teams feature a good bullpen. The middle relief has faltered the last 2 games for Anaheim. All over the last 2 games, the Giants in their bullpen posted a 1.23 ERA. And Ortiz is trying to get it to that bullpen in the late inning relievers with a Game 6 lead. Two 2-0 on Spezio. Three 3-0. Three and one. Three and two as Ortiz tries to come back from a 3-0 count. A 3-2 pitch to Spezio. Do it again. Cast of that 70s show here in attendance in Anaheim. Wilmer Calderama, Topher Grace. As Russ Ortiz excites the fans that he brought with him to Game 6. The Encino native brings it home on another 3-2 pitch to Spezio. Slice down the left field line and out of play.
It's better than the radar gun when in the 5th inning a pitching coach can see a guy like Spezio fouling balls off the other way. That's the best gauge of how a pitcher is throwing, particularly a power pitcher like Ortiz.
Dave Righetti, the Giants pitching coach, to be thrilled with what he's getting out of the 28-year-old. What a turnaround from game 2. 15 batters faced, 14 outs. Then a double play turn behind him as Spezio grounds to Snow. The sure-handed first baseman flips, and that'll do it for the Angels in the 5th. We go to the 6th. Bonds, Santiago, Snow coming up for the Giants, who lead the series, and this game 3-0. And Francisco Rodriguez back to the hill. He hits the outside corner, strike 1 to Bonds. Bonds has walked twice tonight, 26 times in the postseason. 6 for 12, and he's been able to swing the bat. That is crushed deep into the night, and it's 4-0 San Francisco. Home run of this postseason for the man who's number 4 on the all-time list with 613 career home runs. 4-0 Giants.
My God. That's one of the toughest sliders to hit. Ball about neck high, middle of the plate, and just absolutely crushed.
That thing will take your breath away. And it's taken the air out of this stadium. 8 home runs this postseason.
Another exit. Liz Bonds.
That's 14 home runs now in this World Series for the Giants. And that's a World Series record. As Santiago waits for an 0-2 pitch. Takes strike 3 right down the middle, 1 out. Gene Klein's the hitting coach for the Giants as he watches this ball sail out. Dunston has gone deep. Bonds has gone deep. And now JT Snow takes a strike from Francisco Rodriguez. Snow is lined to center and grounded out. A 4-0 Giants lead in the 6th. And a base hit to left field by Snow. Nice easy swing by JT Snow, who scored the Game 4 winning run with Francisco Rodriguez on the mound after a leadoff hit.
And that is when Snow is hitting well. We've talked about it during the postseason when that front shoulder goes right back to the pitcher. Line drive to left field.
While they meet on the mound, an interesting note, a lot has been made about the kids in the Giants dugout. It's important to Dusty Baker to have a relaxed atmosphere, and people have their opinions. Should it happen? Shouldn't it happen? Do they belong down there? Should they be on the field as bat boys? Go back to 1954, and that's Chris DeRocher at the age of 9 Leo DeRocher's son, the year the Giants last won a world championship. And Chris DeRocher was in the dugout as a good luck charm. He was also there 3 years earlier in 1951 at the age of 6 as a good luck charm. And Darren Baker is undefeated in his time in the dugout being the Giants bat boy.
That footage of the 1954 Giants I have never seen.
The 1-on-1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Reggie Sanders. Dennis D'Agostino, the one who thought of that. One of the many who help us put on these broadcasts, helping us with our statistical information. That was Chris DeRocher, there for that specific reason back in 1954. Strike 2 on Sanders, 1-2. Now the Giants have taken it to the extreme as they've got 8 or 9 kids running around in that dugout.
They have a whole team of children down there.
One on, 1 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Sanders steps out. A slider for strike 3. 2 out in the inning. Let's go back to 1954. Dusty Rhodes. Game 1, 10th inning, pinch hit, game-winning home run. You can see that short porch in right, 257 feet. Willie Mays jumping around the bases as the Giants won game 1. And there's number 2, Chris DeRocher, the little guy, right in the middle of that celebration. The Giants went on to sweep the Indians 4-0. Parade in the streets of Manhattan as David Bell stands in. Strike 1.
Dusty Rhodes 4 for 6 with 7 RBIs in that World Series.
The Indians, who had won 111 games that year, was swept. The last time the Giants won the World Series. One on, 2 out, no balls, 1 strike. Bell off the end of the bat, a pop-up. Spezio and Kennedy. It's Spezio in foul territory, and the inning is over. This inning started with a bang, a blast by Barry Bonds. It's a 4-0 San Francisco lead. Bottom of the 6th, game 6. The Giants up 3-2. First pitch, bottom of the 6th inning, is in for strike 1 from Russ Ortiz. Molina, Kennedy, Eckstein. 4-0 Giants. Trying to wrap up the World Series tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Molina lined out to right his first time up. Up and after a pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Giants organization has won the World Series 5 times. Coming off their 17th National League pennant. Molina lines one to right for Reggie Sanders, and the leadoff man is gone. One away, and Adam Kennedy will step in. Support your favorite team with a Major League Baseball Authentic Collection Premier Jacket featuring ripstop nylon and micro fleece lining. Call 1-866-MLB-GAME or visit MLB.com to order now. This crowd hasn't quit. One out, bottom of the sixth. Kennedy takes ball one. Shattered bat, base hit. A one-out single by Kennedy.
The Angels are hopeful that it all started so innocently. Kennedy almost falls down on the swing. That's the power of the Ortiz fastball, and Jeff Kent misses it by about 6 inches.
Eckstein. Strike one from Ortiz. David is fly to left and grounded out. Only 2 hits tonight for Anaheim. A lot has changed since the third inning of Game 4 in San Francisco. Anaheim had just received a 2-run home run from Gloss. The Angels were hitting .364 in the World Series, but then Reeder got it together on the mound. Since then, the Anaheim Angels offense has been shut down. 1 on, 1 out. Eckstein drives it foul down the left field line. Reeder ended up turning in 6 innings. The bullpen faced the minimum the rest of the way. Then Game 5 2 nights ago, a 16-4 win for the Giants, and tonight a 4-0 6th inning lead. The Angels with only 2 hits.
The 2 key at bats in Game 4 came from Kirk Reeder and Kenny Lofton. They had first and second and nobody out on 2 balls hit about 90 feet.
An 0-2 to Eckstein. Ball 1.
The reason I said that is that the guy at the plate right now is the guy who could get that type of hit right now. Certainly not a bunt, but a little flare the other way like Kennedy had, or a walk.
Eckstein battling with 2 strikes. It's still 1-2. Another foul. Slow roller to Aurelia. 2 out. That ball had so much spin on it, looked like it rolled around in the glove of Aurelia, and he grabbed it got it to first for the second out of the inning.
We have seen several types of ground balls against Ortiz hit like that. That ball was in the pocket, drifted toward the web, and Aurelia throws him out.
Hit so slowly that Kennedy is able to get the second. 2 out in the inning, and Darren Erstad will be the hitter.
Even the infield gloves that major leaguers use now are so big that often when you reach in there, the ball's not where you think it's going to be.
Erstad 1 for his last 12. Ball 1. Russ Ortiz 1 out away from turning in 6. Huge innings for the Giants. Two and 0.
Russ Ortiz has never pitched a complete game shutout in his career. Further, there hasn't been a shutout pitched by anybody in this postseason.
Total of 7 last year, none this year. A 2-0 pitch to Erstad. 3-0 with Salmon on deck. Down by 4, you expect Erstad to take. And he does. Strike 1. Last 31 at bats for the Angels, who were red hot to the early stages of Game 4. Only 3 hits.
Normally you'd think it's good policy to take here, but the Angels need a shocker of their own. 2-run home run would do it.
2 on, 2 out. Second walk of the night from Russ Ortiz, who gave up a home run to Salmon in Game 2. It was Ortiz's last pitch of the night. Made it 7-4 at the time. A game that was won 11-10 by the Angels.
Dave Righetti out there to obviously no reminders necessary, but he's out there to give his bullpen a chance to warm up. Felix Rodriguez and Scott Hare. But also to remind Ortiz that Salmon loves the ball down. That home run in the 3rd inning of last Sunday's game came on a low fastball. That was the one you just saw.
Strike 1 on the foul ball, 93 miles per hour from Ortiz. One ball, one strike. Salmon went, strike 2.
The high fastball, and Salmon in the hole. Didn't want to, but he did.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Mr. Calm, Garrett Anderson waits on deck.
You would think the Giants just showing Salmon the breaking ball to go back to the high fastball right now.
That's foul. Got him. Inning over. A hit, a walk, a strikeout, and we go to the 7th inning of Game 6. Belt high fastball to end it, and Ortiz through 6. 4-0 Giants. Back after this from your local Fox station. Strike 1 from Rodriguez as we begin the 7th inning. 4-0 San Francisco, and the biggest swing of the night for the Giants to this point came from Sean Dunston. A 2-run home run back in the 5th against Kevin Appier, the Angels starter. Made it 2-0. It's now 4-0. Sean Dunston's first home run since April 15th.
Get him! Get up! Get up!
That home run was the Giants' only pinch hit home run of the season on the 15th of April. And no more from Dunston until right now, as the count goes to 1-2.
He waited 39 years to get the biggest hit of his life.
"39 years of his life and 18 years of his big league life." A 1-2 pitch, Dunston. .147 at bats between home runs. Then Appier stayed in, faced Lofton, who doubled into right center. Stole third and scored on a wild pitch. That made it 3-0, and Bonds clubbed a gargantuan home run leading off last inning to make it 4-0. And Russ Ortiz is taking care of the rest. The 1-2 pitch, Dunston pops it up. Eckstein staggers but makes the play. And now the two sit together in the Giants dugout with San Francisco 9 defensive outs away from their first World Championship since 1954. That's played on a bounce by Salmon, and Lofton has another hit. 2 out of 4 tonight and 8 for his last 12.
Kenny Lofton has sizzled the last 3 games. Salmon can't make the play. He does keep the ball in front of him. Consider this about Bonds and Dunston. Sean Dunston, including this year, has 5,771 at bats, 197 walks through his career. Barry Bonds had 198 walks this year.
And you look at a guy like Bonds, I mean, so much has been said of him as Aurelia bats with 1 on 1 out. A 4-time league MVP is Barry Bonds. You could make the case, and people have made the case, that it could be 6. 1991, it went to Terry Pendleton of the Atlanta Braves. The year 2000 to Bonds' teammate Jeff Kent. The relationship between Bonds and the media, some people peg, is the reason why he doesn't have 6 MVPs. Pitch out. Lofton running, and he still steals second. Will get up and go to third. Erstad's throw too late. And Lofton at third with only 1 out.
In his haste, Benji Molina runs past the pitch out. Watch how he goes too far outside, has to reach back to his left. A poor throwing position. It's in the dirt. The ball gets by Kennedy, and Lofton impeded somewhat in going toward third. So a throwing error on Molina, another stolen base for Lofton, and he's at third with 1 out again.
Now the infield has to come in. Rich Aurelia. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at third, 1 out.
That was half a squeeze right there. Aurelia, if you're going to try to bunt for a base hit, you can't do it with the infield in because Gloss is already in. Watch Lofton, frozen at third, so it's not a squeeze play. Aurelia trying to get Lofton in via a bunt. That was an odd play right there. I don't know whether Kenny Lofton, it's almost impossible for a guy at third to miss the squeeze sign because usually it's said to him by the third base coach.
The 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Donnelly getting loose for the Angels in their bullpen. The Giants have scored 2 runs since Francisco Rodriguez took over. A chance for another. 2-2. Rodriguez wants to strike out. He has 2. That is line foul.
I think if I were Rodriguez, I'd wind up. You have the infield in. He's more effective from his windup, but he's electing to throw from his stretch. And that last pitch he has a tendency to do when he stretches. Hang the slider. See where Molina is? That was a hanger that Rodriguez got away with. He doesn't throw that type of slider when he winds up.
The 2-2. Got him on the outside corner, 2 out.
Tight slider gets Aurelia. Boy, that was nasty. Aurelia had 1 chance at hanging slider. No chance on this one.
Now it's Kent. Lofton at third, 2 out. 7th inning, 4-0 Giants. Low for ball 1. The 4-time MVP on deck. Probably win his 5th this year. Could very easily end up the MVP of this World Series. Runner at third, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kent. A reminder that Emmitt Smith is 93 yards shy of becoming the NFL's all-time rushing leader. Cowboys and Emmett take on Seattle this weekend on Fox. Kent waits for a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. One and two. The Angels in the bottom of the 7th will have Garrett Anderson, Troy Glaus, and Brad Fulmer. Slider that's fouled. It's still 1 and 2.
Another hanger. Rodriguez hittable tonight.
Line drive, base hit, a 2-out RBI hit by Kent, who pumps his fist as he looks into the dugout on his way to first. It's 5-0 San Francisco. Now the shift is put on as Barry Bonds stands in with 2 walks and a home run. He's already homered tonight against Rodriguez. That was last inning. A 5-0 Giants lead here in the 7th inning. The steal, the throwing error by Molina, and the 2-out Kent hit. A 1-0 pitch to Bonds. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was about the same pitch that he hit out his last at bat. Barry's going to try to find every exit and fair play in this ballpark before he leaves.
Two balls and a strike. Bonds has hit 2 big home runs into the bleachers out in right center field, and both have been at exit areas deep into the night. That's a strike, and it's 2 and 2.
Good fastball from Rodriguez.
Bonds agrees. Bonds strikes out, and it's time to stretch in Anaheim. But the Giants come up with another big run. Another 2-out run, something they've featured this entire postseason. It's 5-0 San Francisco as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Right at the 500 mark with a home run tonight, a strikeout, 2 more walks, 26 walks in the postseason. And you look at his highlights from this postseason. Celebrating against Atlanta. A game-tying 3-run shot against Chuck Finley. That was Game 3 of the NLCS. Game 2 of this World Series made it a 1-run game. And Barry Bonds and the San Francisco Giants are a win away. Tonight, Bonds with a home run for Barry, his 8th of this postseason. He came in 196 in his career in the postseason with only 1 home run. And now he has 8 as Garrett Anderson will start it for Anaheim. Bottom of the 7th inning. Gloss and Fulmer will follow. If anybody gets on, Spezio. Against a guy who should not go unnoticed, Russ Ortiz, for the game that he's turned in tonight. 6 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
1 infield hit, 1 broken bat hit by Adam Kennedy, the other by Salmon.
Anderson 0 for 2. Ball 1. Ball 2. We talked about it in the opening. With the lead, especially now late, the Giants will play the rest of this game like Game 7. If Ortiz stumbles at all in the 7th inning, that Giants bullpen will get to work. Anderson swinging on 2-0. Grounds to Kent, 1 away.
Boy, does that help him out. Garrett Anderson on a 2-0 pitch. We talked to both managers about taking pitches 3-1, 2-0. That pitch could have been high, but he really does Russ Ortiz a favor. I mean, that ball could have been called high. Right around the letters. Not a good pitch to hit.
And now Gloss. Talked about how things have changed since the 3rd inning in Game 4. The Angels up 3-0 against Kirk Reeder. Since that 3rd inning, the Angels are hitting .203, 15 out of 74. Now 16 out of 75 as Gloss is on with a 1-out hit in the 7th.
I think you'll see the Giant bullpen back up. Dave Righetti, Dusty Baker taking no chances here. They are fully equipped, and the phone is just rung. Fully equipped, rested, and a strong bullpen.
Felix Rodriguez was loosening last inning. And here's Fulmer.
JT Snow holding Gloss on at first base. I'll tell you, a lot of managers do that. Now the left-hander, Scott Air, back up to join Rodriguez. Now he's sitting down. 5-run lead, no chance of Gloss going anywhere. And yet JT Snow still on the bag. That decision comes from a manager.
With a left-handed batter at the plate.
Right.
0 for 2 against his high school teammate Russ Ortiz. One ball, one strike. One and one on Fulmer. 5-0 Giants in the 7th. 2 balls and a strike. Air rejoins Rodriguez in the Giants bullpen. Base hit right field. 2 on, 1 out. And that base hit by Fulmer may end the night for Ortiz as Dusty Baker stomps out of the dugout. No signal to the bullpen yet. It'll be Felix Rodriguez. It'll be Scott Spiezio at the plate. For a young man who grew up an Angels fan, Russ Ortiz, he has done himself and his organization, the Giants, very proud tonight in Game 6. Russ Ortiz took the souvenir with him. Dusty Baker said, "Come here. You deserve the game ball tonight," as he exits, pitching into the 7th inning with a 5-0 lead. But now a spectator as Felix Rodriguez comes on with 2 on, 1 out. 7th inning and Spiezio at the plate. Rodriguez, the 3rd guy to ever appear in all of his team's games in a World Series that went 6 or more. He's been busy. Spiezio 0 for 2 tonight. Ball 1.
The one area Rodriguez does not want to throw Spiezio in is that ball down and in. Spiezio can take advantage of that pitch right there.
Popped up foul, back and out of play.
That was about the height, but you could see the ball tailing away. That's the way Spiezio could put the Angels back in this game. So Rodriguez goes to the tailing fastball on the outside part.
Reaching for it, 95 miles per hour, and it's 1-2. Benji Molina on deck. But it could be a spot for Mike Scioscia to use a pinch hitter.
Orlando Palmeiro has a bat. Getting ready.
Good rip by Spiezio. It stays 1-2.
You can see Santiago wanted that fastball in. That's a dangerous area right now. That puts the Angels right back in it. You make a mistake away, it's a single. You make a mistake inside, it's 5-3.
Rodriguez stepped off. Now Tim Worrell is up next to Scott Ayers. Two and two. Good at bat by Spezio as it stays 2-2. Michael Eisner watching the Angels, who trail 5-0, bottom of the 7th. 2 on, 1 out. Full count.
Really can't afford to send the runners here. You're trailing by 5. On an uncharacteristic strikeout to Spezio or a line drive, you're out of the inning. Line drive at somebody.
Spezio hits one into deep right field. Back is Sanders at the wall. Home run. 5-3 in the 7th.
He finally came inside to Spezio. What a tenacious at bat. Down and in.
Still only 1 out. Palmeiro pinch hitting from Molina, strike 1. Spezio 11 for 15 with runners in scoring position in the postseason, a .733 average. And his last hit, a 3-run home run to make it a 2-run game. Strike 2 on Palmeiro as Felix Rodriguez tries to come back and close out the inning. 18 comeback wins in the 7th inning or later, 2 this postseason. 14 when trailing by 3 or more. And this season they put together 28 innings with 5 or more runs scoring. They've put up 3 as Palmeiro stays alive.
I don't know whether the monkey deserves all the credit. I think maybe the sand frog deserves a little of the credit.
That's Spezio's band's name. But this crowd, people say they get tired of hearing about the monkey. They put the rally monkey up on the scoreboard, and this place went berserk when the pitching change was made. And the next hitter, Spezio, really battled.
Oh, what an at-bat.
And ends up with a 3-run home run into right. And Benito Santiago is in serious pain after taking that last foul tip or a piece of the bat from Palmeiro. That's what they put up on the scoreboard to get this team going. And the power of Spezio just enough to get it into the seats in right. Now they're going to let Rodriguez throw some pitches, and I mean Santiago is hurt. He's already took one follow through on a swing off his left thumb. And on that 0-2 pitch to Palmeiro, either the ball or the bat got Santiago again.
On the left wrist. Oh boy. He has taken a beating all year long. Of course, so has Benji Molina. Goes with the territory.
Ball 1 to Palmeiro. The number 9 hitter Kennedy on deck. The home run by Bonds in the 6th, and the 2-out RBI hit by Jeff Kent in the top of this 7th. The difference in the game now. Palmeiro stays up there. Two and two. Ayers ready. Morel should be ready by now. Rodriguez with his 2-2 to Palmeiro. And now a good at bat by Orlando Palmeiro. Falling in the hole 0-2. 3 foul balls, 2 pitches out of the strike zone. It's 2-2. Palmeiro, a pinch hit double in Game 5, has only hit this postseason. Two out.
It was an 8-pitch at bat to Spezio. Watch the location of the pitches. Same speed, all fastballs. Outside. Foul back. 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 5th pitch outside. 2-2. Outside. Outside. Uh-oh, time.
It's a 5-3 game. Rodriguez came back from that home run to strike out the pinch hitter Palmeiro. He's gone with Kennedy coming up for Anaheim. Scott Air finishing up his warm-up tosses. Dominic Purcell plays John Doe, a mysterious man who knows everything except who he is, John Doe. All new episode airs Friday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Scott Air has kind of gone unnoticed in this postseason. 9 games he has not allowed an earned run. Adam Kennedy will be the hitter. Rodriguez goes a third of an inning, allows 1 run on 1 hit. The other 2 runs belong to Russ Ortiz, who can still only be the winner if he gets a decision. 1 strikeout for Rodriguez, and now it's Kennedy with the bases empty, 2 out. Ball 1 inside. Eckstein in the top of the order to follow, either here in the 7th or starting off the 8th. Kennedy with a base hit. And another shattered bat.
Second shattered bat and second hit. And that's going to be all for Scott Air. With 2 outs, you almost have to bring in one of the most effective relievers on either side, and that's Tim Worrell.
So the tying run will be at the plate. Tim Worrell has to take over here in the 7th with Eckstein coming up for the Angels. Air came in to face one batter. Kennedy gave up the hit. Tying run at the plate, and Tim Worrell 3-0 this postseason. On for the 12th time in October for the Giants. Eckstein takes strike 1. One ball, one strike. Erstad on deck. Eckstein flies to right. Sanders puts it away. And a long bottom of the 7th inning is finally finished. Worrell comes on to get the final out. Scott Spiezio has made Game 6 a game again. We go to the 8th inning. Giants bat leading it 5-3. We welcome you back to Game 6 of this 2002 World Series. Just joining us, you see the scoring has been done. The middle inning's on. The Giants got out in front 3-0, then 5-0. But Anaheim, facing elimination tonight, came up with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th as Brendan Donnelly knocked Santiago on his back with the first pitch of the 8th inning.
Santiago's been knocked on his back all night long, defensively and now offensively.
The numbers for Donnelly. His 10th game.
In my view, Troy Percival's got to be the pitcher right now. He's the best the Angels have. And I don't think Mike Scioscia would forgive himself if he gives up a run with other than his best.
Down 5-3 in the 8th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You might say, well, what if the Angels tie it? Then you go into extra innings, and then you'd have Percival ready. Well, the same is true right now. I mean, you're in a tie game situation because Donnelly cannot give up any more runs.
The 1-1. Pop back here. Strike 2. Santiago's 0 for 3 tonight.
Excuse me, Joe. I think the way I would go with that is, I mean, Percival's your best. And if you get beat with your best, or if you give up more runs with your best, then you've lost the World Series with your best.
Percival has not pitched since Game 2. Santiago didn't offer at that pitch. It's ball 2. It looked like the bat came around the plate, but the first base umpire, Jerry Crawford, said no swing.
I thought he went around.
I did too.
Did his body take the bat around, or did he have an intent to hit it? Looked to me like he went around. I think Benito Santiago caught a break there.
It counts 2 balls, 2 strikes. Snow and Sanders will follow here in the 8th. Again up and in. third pitch of that type in this at bat, and it's 3-2.
Santiago rarely walks anything in the area.
Three, 2. Will stay full. The Angels in the bottom of this 8th will have Erstad, Salmon, and Anderson. All the momentum in their dugout at the moment, but any runs put up by the Giants in this 8th inning will take all that back. It's Brendan Donnelly on the mound. And his 3-2 pitch. A leadoff walk. And ball 4 wasn't close.
He walked only 27 times this year. Now Percival gets up, I think. Or he's down now, but he'll get up.
Well, he's down and up and down and up and down and up. JT Snow now. With a runner at first and nobody out. Snow 1 for 3 tonight. Francisco Rodriguez came on in the 5th inning. Rodriguez went 2 2/3 and allowed 2 runs, both earned on 4 hits. And they're the difference in the game. Snow. Sounded like he broke his bat. Erstad, 1 out. That'll bring in Reggie Sanders, who's 0 for 3 tonight, 5 out of 19 in the World Series.
Even after that fly ball out thrown by Donnelly. Donnelly still upset at that walk, and now Percival is up, and he gets ready very quickly.
Donnelly upset about the walk, and maybe before that, the 1-2 pitch that Santiago had called for ball 2 instead of strike 3. He's at first with 1 out, and Sanders. Strike 1. Jose Molina is taken over behind the plate for Benji Molina, who was lifted for the pinch hitter Orlando Palmeiro, who struck out in the bottom of the 7th. So it's Jose Molina looking into the dugout. The signs from the bench and time called. Strike 2. Sanders has struck out twice and popped up. Two out.
Good fastball from Donnelly, right in on the hands. Think big league pitchers throw it where they want to all the time? That missed by about a foot, but it got Sanders.
Now it's David Bell. Santiago still at first with 2 out. Bell 1 for 3 tonight with a single and a run scored, hammering at a high fastball, strike 1. Bell singled with 1 out in front of the home run by Dunston. Dunston hit a home run against Kevin Appier. And when you think about it, Dunston, who waits on deck, is a kid from Brooklyn who helped the Giants take a 2-0 Game 6 lead in the World Series. As Bell pops it up behind the plate, Jose Molina out of room. That's strike 2. Then a double by Lofton. Stole third. Scored in a wild pitch to make it 3-0. Bonds a home run leading off the 6th. Kent a 2-out RBI hit in the 7th to make it 5-0. Until the 3-run home run by Spezio in the bottom of the 7th.
Mike Scioscia trying to get Jose Molina, get his attention. Maybe to remind him that Santiago likes to delay steal. He only stole 4 bases, but he'll lull you to sleep. I would imagine that's what Molina is talking to Donnelly about right there. It's a good time to run. 0-2, you throw a ball in the dirt. Take a chance on a ball out of the strike zone. You're thrown out. Bell leads off the 9th.
Just outside, ball 1. Mike Scioscia's already had a between-inning meeting with Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire. That was wide. Crowd wanted it, but it's ball 1. Ball 2. The big bats coming up for Anaheim in the bottom of the 8th. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Angels are coming up against Tim Worrell. Erstad, Salmon, and Anderson. Erstad and Salmon have had success against the San Francisco right-hander. Hitless tonight is Erstad, and 1 for his last 12. 5-3 Giants, bottom of the 8th, Game 6, and San Francisco up 3-2. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Smoked into right. It's a 1-run game. Salmon. Ball one.
That looked like a changeup from Worrell. It changed directions in a hurry.
Nobody on or out. Salmon into center field. Lofton will play it on a bounce. Tying run is on.
That's a problem with that prevent defense. Sean Figgins is now in to run for Tim Salmon. The Giants win their prevent defense. That means no doubles. By playing too deeply, a ball that Lofton normally would have gotten to falls in front of him. So no doubles, but a single.
Righetti. Dave Righetti is going to come out and talk to Tim Worrell. Rob Nen, the closer for the Giants, cranks it up. Down 5-0. Into the bottom of the 7th. It's a 5-4 game. Bottom of the 8th. Tying run on. And nobody out. The Angels trying to live for one more game. You could see him say changeup. And that's what Erstad hit out to make it 5-4. Garrett Anderson. That's a foul ball. Foul ball, strike one.
Home plate umpires called Tim McClellan. That ball fouled by about a yard. You could also tell J.T. Snow when your left-handed throwing first baseman turns back to his left, it's foul. Just foul. Maybe not a yard. Maybe a foot. Sean Figgins at first base can fly. Fastest guy on the field.
A little slicer down the left field line. That's a hit. Figgins scoots over to third. Bonds still can't come up with it, but Figgins will hold, and Anderson into second. Nobody out.
I think Sean Figgins caused that error, if it's an error. If Bonds comes up cleanly with the ball, he has a shot at Figgins. But the daring do of Sean Figgins, Barry Bonds, the ball bouncing back to his left. He looked up, and the combination of those two puts Angels on at second and third. Right there.
It's second and third, nobody out, and Rob Nen is coming in. Tim Worrell will stand and watch. Sean Figgins, the lead runner at third on this hit by Garrett Anderson.
And an error on Barry Bonds. Bonds thought it was going to bounce to his glove hand. It came back and bounced to his bare hand. But Sean Figgins certainly had something to do with that error on Barry Bonds.
Rob Nen 7 for 7 in save chances in the postseason. Blew 8 saves during the regular year. Troy Gloss, second and third, nobody out. Ball one. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at second with nobody out, and the infield is back. Gloss. After a ball way outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Almost got away from Santiago. The Giants forced to play their infield back and in essence play for a tie in this inning. If there were 1 out, they'd bring the infield in.
Ball 2.
First base umpire Jerry Crawford has had some very difficult calls tonight. Tough for a big man like Gloss to stop that swing.
Big difference between 2-1 and 1-2.
Yep.
It's 2-1 on Gloss. Into left center field. Bonds on the run, won't get it. And the Anaheim Angels have come all the way back and lead it 6-5. Strike 1 on Fulmer.
Meant to be outside, inside, Gloss. Another key hit.
Peter McGowan, the president of the Giants. Fulmer, strike 2. For the second time this postseason, the Angels have come back from 5 runs down. They also did it twice during the regular season. Still nobody out in the inning. Nen would love a strikeout to hold the runner at second. Smoked foul. My goodness. Hopefully everybody's okay down the right side, and it appears they are. Ripped into right field. Foul ball.
And that was close. Mike Riley, the right field umpire. That's why Major League Baseball has 6 umpires for the World Series. Not as close as I thought. That ball up around the shoulders and fouled by about a half a foot.
Fulmer strikes out. And a big strikeout for the Giants and Nen to hold loss at second, now 1 away.
Now with that strikeout, first base open, you may see a walk to Spezio with Jose Molina on deck.
And we will.
It's not that Mike Socia doesn't have the luxury of another pinch hitter. It's that Jose Molina is his catcher. Benji's already out of the game.
He does have Wooten, who can catch. But the 9th inning of Game 6 of the World Series is not a time for Sean Wooten to be behind the plate.
Not when you're 1 run up.
Molina's looking back into the dugout, but Mike Socia says go get him. And Dusty Baker sends Dave Righetti out of the dugout. He wants Santiago to join him for a meeting on the mound with Nen.
Jose Molina still looking in the dugout. Sometimes, you know, you don't hit that often. So you're used to being called back. This is an unusual situation for Molina.
2 on with 1 out. Trying to bump the runners up even with 1 out, with Kennedy on deck and then Eckstein. Strike 1.
Under any circumstances, that's a bad play. Under any circumstances.
Ron Renicky threw the signs again, the third base coach.
Hey, you got the 7th run out there on second base. You can throw a flare in there somewhere. A bunt moves them along.
The bunt. The out. Second and third, 2 out. Sacrifice 1-3. And now you would think Kennedy will get a walk.
I would think so, with Eckstein on deck. Under any circumstances, in my view, that is a bad play.
And that's called by the dugout.
That's right. That's right. Initially, I thought Molina was doing that on his own, but he clearly squared around. Now getting high fives for a sacrifice.
Well, the Giants with first base open will pitch to Adam Kennedy, the ALCS most valuable player. Here's a guy who was 7th in the American League, hitting .312 during the regular season. The pesky Eckstein is on deck. Nen can at least be careful with Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy only walked 19 times all year, so he could swing at something out of the strike zone.
Like that. 1 ball, 1 strike as Santiago kept it at the plate.
Good play by Santiago. Kennedy, the freest swinger on the Angels.
A base hit could mean 2 runs. An out will keep it a 1-run game going to the 9th, with Percival taking over. Dunston is due to lead off the 9th, with Lofton and Aurelia to follow. Kent and Bonds the next 2 hitters. And again, first base is open. Full count. The Giants up 3 games to 2, had a 5-0 lead, headed to the bottom of the 7th. 3 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and a chance for more for the Angels, who lead by 1. Inning over. Kennedy strikes out and then keeps it a 1-run game. Troy Percival will take over, trying to get the save as the Angels try to get the win to force Game 7 tomorrow. Alex Ochoa takes over in right. Salmon was lifted for the pinch runner Figgins, who's also out of the lineup. Troy Percival is on the mound to try and save it. Our All-State Good Hands defensive play of the game is back in the 3rd. Gloss, who knew then what he would provide in the 8th inning for the Angels, picked up the bunt by Lofton barehand and got the out at first. In the 8th inning, a 2-run double to put the Angels on top 6-5. And now it's Percival, who's 5 for 5 and saved chances in 7 games this postseason, trying to force Game 7. Tom Goodwin will come off the bench and bat for Dunston, who was 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer.
That's the area that Percival can be wild in until he adapts to that first hitter. He said that the other night when he faced Rich Aurelia as the first batter.
1 ball, 1 strike. .40 saves in 44 chances during the regular season. Goodwin 1 for 7 career against Percival, 2-1. Two and 2.
Catch me if you can. Fastball to get Goodwin.
Kenny Lofton 2 for 4 tonight with 2 big runs scoring for the Giants. Lofton scored the 3rd run in the 5th inning. The 5th run of the game for the Giants in the 7th, which at the time made it 5-0. It's now 6-5 Anaheim. The Angels down 3 games to 2. Strike 2.
Thing with Percival, he'll throw the 2-seamer that almost looks like a changeup. That's how hard his 4-seamer is.
Lofton stays alive.
But all you can do with that pitch is punch it. Thrown too hard and in a tough location.
Percival hasn't been in a game since last Sunday night. Closers love regular work. 1 out, nobody on, 1-2 pitch. That'll get out of play. The middle relief for the Angels struggled the last 2 games. Tonight it was the Giants' turn. Percival trying to shut the door in the ninth. Two balls, 2 strikes. Playable. Loss. 2 out. Rich Aurilia, the last chance tonight for the Giants. 2 wild card teams in the World Series. Troy Percival trying to get the most out of it. Aurilia. Ball 1. After Aurilia, you get Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent, 2 hits tonight, 3 hits in Game 5, including 2 two-run home runs. So it wouldn't take much to give the Giants a chance here in the 9th inning. 1-1.
Throwing that hard with that location.
Ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. We'll see you tomorrow night. Steve Lyons is standing by on the field with Troy Glaus. All right, Steve. Down 5-0 going to the bottom of the 7th. With that swing and miss by Rich Aurelia, this World Series lives on to Game 7 tomorrow night. Troy Percival wrapping up this Game 6. A classic in Anaheim with one more to play. We'll be back after this. Final in Game 6. Brendan Donnelly comes out of the bullpen, gets the win. Percival to save. Tim Worrell suffers his first loss of the postseason. Let's go down to Kevin and Jeannie.
Well, Joe, the Angels had to prove that they could come from behind all season, so really, why should the World Series be any different? And the man here to my left may not have hit the go-ahead run, but you had an at-bat that we definitely want to talk about.
Yeah, Scott, take us through that at-bat. 8-pitch at-bat. You've got to have a chain turning point, and you did it.
It was a tough at-bat. I kept fouling balls off and couldn't get anything on the meat of the bat. I was just trying to be as quick as possible. Yeah, I kept fouling balls off and just telling myself all you got to do is throw the head on it. And got one. A good pitch to hit over the plate and just got enough of it. I didn't hit it that great, but I knew I had a chance.
Did you know, though, when you hit it that it was going to go out down the line there?
No, I didn't know. I was sitting at first base waiting for it, just praying, saying, no, God, please let that go out. And I knew it was going to be a spark for this team.
18 come from behind wins, 2 in the postseason. What is it with this club? Troy Glaus just said maybe it's the rally monkey, but I'm going to look a little deeper than that.
Well, I mean, the thing about the Rally Monkeys, it gets the fans involved, and these fans have been great all postseason and all year, and they deserve a lot of credit for the win tonight. And you know what? This team just never gives up. We battle until the last out's made, until they kick us out of the park and say, you got to go home. We're not giving up.
Scott, knowing that the Giants have a great bullpen, was there some fear this time around, down 5-0 at all with you guys? You've never shown it so far in the postseason.
You know what? There's no room for fear here, or else you're going to go home. We know that, and you know, you can't think about the names that are coming in facing. You just have to look for pitches. You know what they have. You look for that. You look for something over the plate, and everything else you don't worry about. You just have your at-bats.
We featured you in our pregame show where you were high up on the Flintstone Rocks. You broke a guitar, and you said there were 2 things you wanted to do. One was smash that guitar. Do you remember what the second one is?
Win the World Series, and we're 1 game away, and we're going to come out fighting tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much. For Kevin Kennedy and Joe, what do the Angels get as their reward for winning this must-win? Another ultimatum tomorrow. Do you believe this gives new meaning to the Magic Kingdom, Joe?
All right, Jeannie, thank you. Well, we showed it to you during the game. Only 5 times in World Series history has a team come back to win down 5 or more runs. And it happens here tonight. The Angels with 7 come-from-behind wins in the postseason, including all 3 of their wins here in the World Series against San Francisco. That means that tomorrow night, Game 7 will happen right here on Fox. Our producer, Michael Weissman, our director, Bill Webb. The pregame show produced by Gary Lang and directed by Jennifer Love. Our associate producer, Carol Langley McDermott. The videotape producer, Aaron Stoikov. Also thanks to Associate Director Larry Lancaster, Broadcast Associates Eric Billigmeyer and Kevin Dresser, Vice President of Operations Jack Simmons. There's nobody better than Steve Horn, our editorial consultant here in the booth, helping us as he does every night. Coordinating producer of pregame show is Scott Ackerson, and the feature producers were Jason Wormser and Chris Long. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Bourne and David Hill. Coming up, except for those of you on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news. For those viewers in the Los Angeles area interested in continuing post-game coverage, turn to your regional Fox Sports Net affiliate. For Tim McCarver, for Steve Lyons, Kevin Kennedy, and Jeannie Zalasko, I'm Joe Buck. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of Major League Baseball. You're home for the 2002 World Series, Game 7, tomorrow night.